this works.
There you go. It's
Good
ready.
morning. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I would like to call the order the meeting of the Harris County Houston Sports Authority Board of Directors for August 14th, 2025, and it's 10:01 a.m. All right, our first agenda item is just looking over the minutes from our last meeting that was held on July 8th, 2025. Ask our board if you could review, if you haven't done so already, review the minutes from our July 8th meeting and let me know if we have any needed changes. If not, I would ask for a motion to approve.
So moved to approve that motion.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes and the minutes are approved. Thank you for that. Moving to public comments. Mr. Walsh, do we have anybody signed up?
Yes, Bishop, we have one person signed up, Mr. Jacob Clementic.
Jacob, come on up. You have 3 minutes, buddy. Not 30, three.
I haven't done this Marcel, great work, great way to see himself. He's not going to get this present for me, and it's that I brought at a little successful at the NRG Thunder, and I'm going to give it to me as they want. But as he's a world champion, so he gets this. Also, when what here he is, I got this guy from the Harris County Sports Corporation. Human Corporation, and also I wanted to show you this little thing that when I was out in Austin, I was visiting the legislators, and I was doing some advocacy, and I got this from State Senator who's retiring, what's his name, Birdwell, and so I'm going to give it to you, and also if I have the liberty, I would like to give this to you personally if you want, and let y'all see this temporary contract I got from the Dynamo one day, where I was an actual team member of the Dynamo one day. So I would like to show it to y'all to show you that I was the Dynamo. And I would like also to read the letter that I got from State Senator Brian Birdwell. He says from Senator Brian Birdwell on the letter he wrote to me. He said, from returning to State Senator Brian Birdwell, thank you for sending the sunscreen and the Jesus Coalition for Life items to my office. I appreciate your generosity, and I'm glad we were able to take up the tree together. Best wishes to you, and God bless Texas. Sincerely, I'm Mr. Birdwell. Now, if I have...
Jacob, you have 30 seconds.
I'd like to get that job, see that you can look at this, I guess, abilities that come.
All right, well, thank you. We'll take a look at it and then,
It's for you.
oh, okay, well, thank you, appreciate it. We'll face it this way. All right, thank you, Jacob, appreciate it. We'll give it back to you we'll give that back to you after the meeting. And thanks for the Astros cup, and just so the record is clear, it is empty. There's nothing in there. So it's, appreciate anybody else signed up? All right, no one else has signed up, so thank you for the comments. Just a few remarks myself. First of all, I'd like to welcome some guests. Gretchen Shear with the Rockets, star walk-in. Gretchen, good to see you always. Mike Slaughter with the Astros and Sean Johnson with the Dynamo. Thank y'all for being here. Always happy to have our teams here. I know that the Texans are about to start their season, so let's go Texans. Great schedule. Looking for great things from the Texans this year, and a lot of excitement. A couple of other things. I know it's going to be on the agenda later on, but I just wanted to personally have a huge congratulations and kudos to the Sports Authority team for the AAU Junior Olympics. I was able to go out to the George R. Brown and to the stadium a couple times, and I know Director Newport, Rose, Burke were also out there, at least the day that I went, and it was an amazing event. Not only for the students and their families and the coaches and the 60,000 plus people that visited our community, but the staff did an amazing job putting that entire thing together, from marketing, from logistics, everything. So I, on behalf of the board, wanted to personally congratulate the entire team and thank the entire team for an amazing job well done. And so I just wanted to give them a round of applause.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment
Sure.
on that point? What was particularly valuable to me was everything that you just said, but also having Holly describe the permanent improvements that our successful bidding for and then hosting of the event at the facilities there. I mean, we've made dramatic improvements to that piece of community infrastructure that Houston kids and neighborhoods in the school district gets to take advantage of. They're truly, truly impactful after the event leaves that we get to take advantage of and deliver for them. It's wonderful, wonderful work by this group.
Yeah, no, I agreed. I mean, to that point, I mean, we've helped the Sports Authority in partnering with that school district has helped put streets and parking lots, the entire Wi-Fi, the scoreboard for that stadium, and partnering with them, where they're agreeing to host and working with us, and in turn, we assist them in developing that stadium for other events that they could use. But it's and I will tell you, speaking to the coordinators, they use Houston as an example of what other cities they would like to be. And it's not even close. In fact, they use our marketing material. They'll cut out the Houston part and try to paste the other cities there because our stuff is so good. So again, Ryan, congratulations to you and your team and the staff. I know a lot of them are here and we'll hear it more, but it's just an amazing job. And the pictures that I saw on social media and the faces of the kids, amazing.
The social media front, incredible. I mean, the reach of it, hundreds of thousands, and just seeing the difference in that whole space is very significant, Ryan. So to the team, congratulations, and great smiles, as our chairman said, on these young athletes. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think we have some other folks that would like to speak, and if they didn't sign up, I did ask Attorney Trevino what the process was, and she just said show up. So they've showed up.
All right, so who's speaking on behalf of that organization? All right, well, you have 3 minutes. We'll open that back up for public comments and they walk in.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Sure.
So my name's Francesca. I'm with we're here today.
Louder, Francesca. Can't hear you.
Okay. So we're here today to talk about stadium workers, right?
the stadium workers at all 4 stadiums, the workers at all 4 stadiums here in Houston deserve the same right that workers here at the convention center have, which was a fair process to organize their union. Okay, thank you. And over the past few months, we've been talking to workers just out in the streets, doing surveys, having conversations with them to learn about the real struggle that they're facing due to the low wages that they're being paid at the stadiums, due to very little hours that are provided to the workers, and just lack of benefits in general. So workers are living check to check. They're having to work multiple jobs just to survive. Houston, cost of living is going up, as we all know. So workers are barely making it while working for these very profitable companies here in our city. So we've been to City Hall, we've done press conferences, we've brought it to the city's attention. So we want to bring it here as well to bring it to you all's attention. So you'll be hearing from a few workers today that, you know, are living these struggles every day, just trying to make it and feed their families and not have to make those decisions between paying the bills and putting food on the table. So I would like to invite, we have 3 speakers today. So I would like to invite Marcela Zaleta to come and share her experience. And I'll have to translate for her too. So I'll be up here.
Not to cut it off, but you got about a minute, so you're going to have to squeeze those in.
Oh, we only have 3 for all 3 of our speakers?
3 per person? Okay. So is this a different person?
It's a different, I'm just
Okay.
going to translate for her.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Francesca Caraballo.
Okay. And if you could state your name when you speak. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Marcela Zaleta. Trabajo para el estadio de Toyota y Shell. Entré ganando $11 la hora. Después de un tiempo, hace 2 años, ya gano $14.50 la hora.
So, hi, good morning. My name is Marcela Zaleta. I work at Toyota Center and Shell Stadium. I started working there making $11, and after a few years, I went up to $14.50.
Trabajo en el área de suites. Hago la comida para las suites. Pienso que los sueldos no son justos y es por eso que ahorita nos hacemos presentes. Tengo un tercer trabajo en Hilton, América, y hago también taquizas para eventos.
So I do not believe that the wages are fair at these jobs. That's why we are all here today. Because of how little I make, I have to essentially work 3 jobs. I work at the Hilton Americas, and I also have my own catering business on the side.
Casi no estoy presente en la vida de mis hijos por estar trabajando. Hago esto para tener una vida digna para ellos y para mí, pero creo que no es suficiente el salario ahora mismo para tener a mi familia bien.
So because of this, I don't feel like I'm present in my kids' lives. So because I have to be working so much, essentially, and that's why we are fighting to win a better living and better wages.
Se puede decir que los precios en los estadios han aumentado, pero nuestros salarios no han visto ese aumento.
And also you can see that the prices of the food that we sell at the stadiums have gone up, but yet our wages have stayed the same.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Okay, so we have another speaker, Ms. Teresa Trevino.
Good morning. My
Morning.
name is Teresa Trevino. I work for NRG, the Texans, and I've been there 22 years, do not even make $10 an hour. We were told we don't get a raise because of the tips. But as my partner here has said, The prices are so high. By the time the customer comes and sees me and buys a beer or two, they're already complaining because it's so expensive. So guess what? We don't get a tip. So at $9 an hour after 22 years, and now we're being told that our seniority counts for nothing. So guess what? We're being denied when there's events. We don't get to work. And so we're trying to make a living. Everything has gone up. And guess what? We're not making any money. And I'm here to ask for your support and your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have our final speaker, Marcos Mendoza.
My name is Marcos. I am a cashier at 3 stadiums. I've been at NRG Stadium for 8 years, for Airmark and Toyota Center and Shell Stadium for 4 years. I am here today to speak about some of the issues facing stadium workers like me in Houston. We make sure people have a good time at the games, Monster Jam, and the concerts. But I'm working 3 jobs because $12 an hour isn't enough. I'm competing with temps, and it feels harder and harder to get the hours I need. I feel like if I speak up about any issues at work, my job is at risk and I won't be scheduled anymore. Stadium workers need the union so we can have a real voice at work and make the change we need.
Thank you. Any other public comments? All right.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, just a comment.
Sure. Well, let me close the public comment section and close that back up, and then Director Morales? Sure.
You already did.
I did.
Okay, so as a chairman, taking your title away, as a board member, I'm concerned obviously with the World Cup approaching. I think we need to do everything in our collective power to avoid a labor dispute. It may be proactively reaching out to the concessionaire companies to prevent a public conflict and to support a peaceful process. But as host for the World Cup, I do encourage resolve and no labor disputes. Some big events that are coming up in 2026, we've got the World Baseball Classic at Dayton, we've got the NCAA tournament at Toyota Center, and we've got the World Cup at Energy. We want to show the world that we care about workers, we care about their safety, and so I encourage all of us to avoid a labor dispute. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate the comments, and I know you sent something out to the World Cup committee about some meeting coming up, and they've already started setting it up. So with that, moving back to my comments, thanks for that. And so a couple things. Congratulate Chad Burke. I just found out walking in that you were reappointed to our board. So thank you. You got another 2 years that you're stuck with us. I know at some point we will do the, I assume we will have to kind of raise the hand and that kind of stuff, but maybe at the next meeting that we have. And then finally, because of our scheduling issue, I know there's a couple of meetings going on today of interest, and Thursdays have become a little bit more difficult for the attendance of some of our board, just given the conflicts in there. So we had previously discussed moving our meetings to a Tuesday. And so with that, I wanted to discuss, and I think we have new dates somewhere in here in our agenda meeting, that we're moving our meetings to Tuesday.
Correct. For the rest of the year, we have changed those dates to Tuesdays to better accommodate the other various governmental bodies that are meeting on Thursdays. So for the rest of the year, we have, obviously, today, August the 14th, Tuesday, October the 7th, and Tuesday, December the 2nd. Hopefully, those have less conflict with our members and the other governmental meetings going on.
Where's that in our book?
You look at section 4, you flip over the resolution, I think it's on the last page.
Last page of section 4.
So given that we had previously voted on the prior dates, I'll ask for a motion to change the remaining dates to those listed in section 4. So there is a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No, so the motion passes, and the dates for the future Board of Directors meetings for 2025 will be as listed here and will be circulated to the public so everybody is aware of them.
And it's just a note, Mr. Chairman, for the rest of the board as well, we'll bring back in December a list of the 26 dates for your review and approval, so more to come.
All right, with that, I'll turn it over to Ryan for the Chief Executive Report.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. A list of things today. First, I would like to start with a legislative update from Colin Parrish with State House Consultants. Colin?
Hello, Mr. Chairman, Directors. My name is Colin Parrish, and together with my partner, Charlie, we are privileged to help you track and monitor legislation and various other administrative actions in Austin. So it's good to be here today to give you a brief update on what's going on. There is a special session underway. This first called special legislative session is scheduled to end on Tuesday. However, it is the expectation that the Speaker, together with the Lieutenant Governor, are going to adjourn that special legislative session on Friday. The Governor is then expected to call back the legislature immediately, so it'll be about 5 days short, but then it'll come right into the second special legislative session. And it's everybody's expectation that a group of Democrats who have been advocating their cause in other states and to the federal government will return to the state of Texas so that they will have quorum in the House, and there will be a couple pieces of legislation to move forward. So I will keep you posted as those move on. A couple other important dates I'd like to call to your attention. Tuesday, November 4th is the constitutional amendment election. This legislative session, this legislative session has 17 constitutional questions that will be on the ballot. Just a little bit of history. Originally adopted in 1876, there have been 530 amendments to the Texas Constitution to date. It is one of the longest constitutions in the country, and the all-time high was in 1987 when they put 24 constitutional questions to the voters. Saturday, November 8th is candidate filing. This is for statewide elected officials, House members, senators who are up, and the candidate filing closing will be on December 8th. A couple things about the special session. Only the governor can call a special legislative session. They are 30 days in length. They can be shorter, as I just noted, and there is no limit to the number of items on the call. There is no limit to the number of special sessions, except that when we roll into the second Tuesday of the next odd numbered year, there is a constitutional requirement for a regular legislative session. So it's really a question of how many can fit in between. Constitutional deadlines are slightly different for a special session. There is no bill filing deadline, no limit of any kind. There is also, for House and Senate rules, a slightly different posting requirement, which means there's the potential for the legislation to move significantly faster during a special legislative session. Posting requirements aren't a week, for instance. They can post things on the following days, call them up. These are the items on the special session. It is pretty extensive. I will not go through them. I believe you'll have this at your disposal. But really the big ones that are being discussed at the moment are flood relief, a ban on THC and consumable THC products that the governor vetoed after the regular session, and redistricting. And that would be a legislative redistricting for the congressional seats coming up. So the statewide election cycle, this is a list that is in flux. I again won't go through these one by one, but it is important to know that all of the statewide elected officials are up for election, about half of the senators and all of the House members. This list also will point out a couple things. You have Senator Middleton, who is one of your senators representing the region. He is running for Attorney General. He will not be a senator next session, regardless of whether he wins the Attorney General race or not, because his seat is up this cycle. Alternatively, you have Senator Huffman, who has announced her intent to run for AG. Also, if she loses this race, she will still be a senator next session because she originally drew a 4-year term on her seat. So there's lots of interesting maneuvers there. I will keep you posted as they change. This is a quick list of your Senate elected officials. Joan Huffman, of course, is highlighted in red because she will either be returning or be AG. Senate District 11 is listed as open because that is Senator Middleton. One of your state reps, Representative Dennis Paul, has announced that he is running in this seat. So, of course, he is now listed in an open seat as House District 129. As all of these things move around, there will be lots of changes. Also, House District 147 is Representative Yolanda Jones. She has announced her intent to run for Congress in the seat formerly held by Congressman Turner. So, again, we will keep you updated as all of these things change. Filing, of course, ends in December. So now moving backwards, the regular legislative session ran from the second week of January through June. This 89th legislative session, there was a record number of bills filed, 9,204. It is up significantly from previous sessions, and there are a number of factors contributing to that. About 14.5% of bills that were filed actually got to the governor's desk, and about 2% of those were vetoed. That is slightly down for the number of bills that actually passed to the governor's desk. It is right on track for the number of bills that passed that were vetoed. The important things here, I will not go through all of them in the interest of time, but several events were added to the major events reimbursement program. Of course, it's the Horseman and American Rodeo, IndyCar, National Rifle Association meeting. There were lots of bills filed that added lots of different events. These are the only ones that passed. Also, there is a provision in the supplemental budget that would be HB 500 that the governor signed that we are tracking. There's $95 million that was allocated. The provision specifically says the amount of $95 million is appropriated from the General Revenue Fund to trustee programs within the Office of the Governor for the 2-year period beginning the effective date of this act to be used to make grants to local units of government in preparations and in advance of major events. When I say details are still forthcoming, as of last week, the governor's office is figuring out not only where they want this money to go, but how it's going to be administered. When I say where, there are a handful of trustee programs in the governor's office. One of them is the Economic Development and Tourism Department. If it goes there, it will likely be a grant program that then people can apply. Obviously, the World Cup could perhaps be a good fit for where some of this money goes. Some of it has already been, during the legislative session, discussed as in anticipation of the Republican Party convention here in the state. So when they figure out first where that money is going and then what the grant procedure will be, I will make sure to communicate that to you, but obviously it is an opportunity to help offset some of those major costs. Now, in the next several pages, I'm going to go really quickly. These are bills that failed. The reason that we call these to your attention is very likely these are going to be back in the next legislative session, or depending if they're hot tax issues, for instance, they may be considered germane and on the call for the special session. So we will track them. We will make sure that we keep you posted on these. But the hot tax, for instance, various things talk about who collects the hot tax. Short-term rentals, is that hot tax collected by the owner of the property or by the platform that facilitates that rental? Obviously, how those change could significantly impact the revenue that comes from the sports story. Peer-to-peer car sharing, similarly, entities like Turo that allow peer-to-peer car sharing. They do not collect short-term rental tax. That is actually expected to be collected by the owner of the vehicle. And so there's a question about should that be transferred to the platform to help increase those collections. Gambling, there were lots of gambling bills filed this session, both sports betting and resort-style gaming. Firearms, these are of particular interest because depending on how the legislation passes, there's been lots of discussion about state fair. State fair, is a They were prohibiting firearms from the state fairgrounds. That got a lot of representatives concerned. So they proposed several pieces of legislation to discuss whether firearms should or should not be allowed to be carried into the various venues. Now, public entities are at times required to allow you to carry firearms into events. Private entities who are leasing those facilities are generally not, but these pieces of legislation impact what that kind of rule is, and of course will be a concern moving forward. This is not part of my presentation, so at this point I will pause and say, are there any questions? I suppose it was especially thorough, I guess, this time, or I put everybody to sleep. I'm not sure which. But again, I will make sure to keep you updated as the legislative sessions go on. There are a lot of things that are going to be happening over the next month or so, so I will look forward to visiting with you all sometime in the future.
Thank you, Colin. Appreciate it.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Continuing on with the CEO report, want to let you guys, remind you all of some of the events that are coming up. We've got, of course, National Battle of Bands on August 23rd, Fleet Week Houston, which our own Mr. Newport has worked so very hard to both secure and activate, so kudos to you, sir. November 5th through 12th. We've got the Lombardi Awards dinner this year, December 10th. Abilities in Motion, and I don't have that exact date, but we'll send that around to you. A World Baseball Classic next spring, March 5th through 17th, and the NCAA Sweet 16 at Toyota Center, March 26th and 28th. Chris is traveling this week. Canetti is traveling this week with some FIFA meetings, so asked me to give you all a quick update. That FIFA continues to recognize the fantastic work our host committee is doing, and there's a lot more to do, but we are still well ahead of the pack nationally, and even as far as the other 16 host cities go. We continue to create and convene stakeholder groups to make sure that our community is a part of both the planning and the events themselves. And thank you to several board members, including Linda Morales, for your contributions to the community outreach aspect of the World Cup planning. Also, the World Cup volunteer effort has officially rolled out as of August 11th, and I just got an updated number about 5 minutes ago. So far, there are almost 10,000 people that have signed up for the Houston volunteer effort. Of course, we'd love as many as we can, so remind you all to reach out to your networks and have them go to fifaworldcup.com/volunteers, or of course, check the host committee website, which is fwc26houston.com. Quickly, too, is on October 2nd at the Briar Club, the Houston Business Journal, moderated by our very own friend Chandler France. Thank you, Chandler. We'll host a World Cup panel featuring Chris Canetti, John Christick, Michael Heckman, and Chris Larson. So we'll send more details to this group in case there's anybody who'd like to attend that. But count me in, Chandler. Maybe give me a discount on a ticket. Just kidding. It's a joke. Join us in that event. I think it'll be a really good time and very informative as well. So Chandler, thanks for putting that together. Also like to congratulate our very own Juan Garcia for being named a 2025 Distinguished Alumnus from South Texas College of Law. It's a very well-deserved honor for our students. He is. He's got a lot going on.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that.
Only 10 years out of law school, man. Congratulations.
I know, a record.
Also,
they haven't started with the Lifetime Achievement Awards just yet, but it's getting close.
Congrats to John Coppins as well and his wife Kelly, who have welcomed a new addition to their family, Molly Coppins, who is their second daughter. So John, if you're watching, congratulations. In other staffing news, I'm sure you all saw the email about our very own Tom Wagner and Phil Ochoa and their impending retirement at the end of this year. We thank them very much for their years of dedicated service to the authority, and certainly congrats to them. I know that they're excited to be able to spend some time, hopefully not looking at spreadsheets of numbers all day, but thank you guys for your efforts, and we'll have an event for them closer to the end of the year. And I do want to let you all know about two new recent additions to our staff. First is John Plattenberg. There he is, the man. John will be helping out Alva and Holly on both the events and the legal side. John attended Lamar High School here in Houston and played football for the USC Trojans. graduating with a BA from USC and is currently working on a master's in legal studies at Pepperdine. And I believe his wife is expecting a baby by the end of the year. So congratulations, John, and welcome aboard. We're very glad to have you. Yeah, also another very busy guy. And also Anna Macias, who is stepping into the position of controller for the Sports Authority. Anna brings extensive experience and expertise in all things accounting and treasury throughout her many years, most recently with Stolt Nielsen. She holds a BA from the University of Houston downtown and an MBA from Texas A&M. Welcome aboard to you both. Look forward to getting you guys ingrained.
Welcome.
And that is the end of my report, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Wait, we have the AAU?
Yes, sir. Next up is the AAU Junior Olympic Games recap with Blake Maniscalco. And I just want to echo your comments and the rest of the board's comments. Watching these guys work so hard for so long was very impressive to watch, especially you, Blake, being the event lead. You and Vince running out there at Turner Stadium when it's 100 degrees outside or pouring down rain. You've got your Camelback full of water. You've got your 4 radios. You've got your keys. You've got your hat. You were ready to go, and it never stopped. So watching all of you all put in the effort, our social media team, everybody, was an impressive feat to watch, and I was so very proud to be a part of this organization and see the amazing things and impact that you all had, not just for our staff, but for the 60,000 people that came to Houston for the Junior Olympics. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Blake.
Thank you, Ryan. As Ryan mentioned, Blake Maniscalco, Director of Event Operations here at Sports Authority. This is actually my 3rd Junior Olympics to be a part of. As Ryan said, 4 radios on the AM radio every single year. Probably just throw them at me. It's just not fun anymore. So my problem's now. But I want to start off by kind of a highlight video, give you all some metrics from the games, just give you a little look and feel for those of you all thinking out there.
Ignition sequence start. Engines on. Weakness has no age
So that was a little look and feel of our event, but just kind of take a step back, give you a little bit of background on AAU, our partner for this event. AAU was founded in 1888 in Orlando, Florida, so a little bit way from here. And then their total reach is 800,000 plus members across 50 sports, 55 U.S. districts. As far as the actual games that we ran here in Houston, those were established in 1967. It is widely renowned as the largest youth multi-sport event across the nation. So, as most of you know, this is the 4th time hosting in Houston. The only one that I have not been a part of is 2012, but 2016, 2021, as well as 2025. Those metrics were hit on in the video, but a little bit more details. 17,000 plus participants. This includes your athletes and coaches that are in here, and we're trending kind of close to that 18,000 number for this year's event. And then along with those, 60,000 plus spectators across all venues. And then that $90 million economic impact we all see right there, that also does not include the numbers that Juan mentioned earlier, that Holly spoke of, the infrastructure upgrades, the roads, all the improvements that we make out of Turner Stadium and other venues across all the years that we hosted this event. To give you all kind of a big picture, I'm not going to go through this detail by detail, but this is kind of the event schedule. You can see on there that at the top track was our longest event that we had, but we also have George R. Brown. We had events starting on first week, and then we had a second wave coming in. So we had to do turnovers in the George R. Brown Convention Center. We had swimming going on simultaneously as well as field hockey. So our team, we grow immensely for this event. And this next timeline right here kind of goes a big picture of kind of what we do. Starting our full staff about 18 months out, starts to turn their focus towards the event. And then about a year out, we go and visit the games before. So in our instance, we were in Greensboro, North Carolina, seeing their event. And I want to mention they had our sign hanging up in 2016 there with our logo cut off. But then once we get about 6 months out is whenever we start getting into nitty-gritty. We bring the AAU in town, going through practice, going through venues, meeting their new teams. This is when we actually start bringing on the team competition. We have such a big team. We brought in, I believe, 12 coordinators for this event. We started hiring on about 36 just event time staff, starting those conversations started. That'll come in towards the end of July. And then we start having a conversation with vendors. So a little bit of our responsibilities, just for y'all's awareness, is anything that, as far as like running the actual track, in the pool or swimming, that is all on AAU. They bring in their staff. They're the ones that are timing, actually running the events. We are anything else, think of security, medical, water for the athletes, the tents, the fencing, anything that you can think of. That's kind of where we fall in that picture. Trust me, you don't want me out there trying to run track. That's not going to happen. But then, once we kind of get into those summer months, the May and June, that's when we start having conversations with those sport chairs specifically about their events, little changes that they want to make year to year. And then from there on, we're hitting the ground running in mid-July. We started loading. We're basically in venues for almost a month's time. Out of Turner Stadium was our first one to go. We were in there on July 14th with tents and fencing and everything going up. And then July 20th, their staff arrives, and July 22nd, we're starting events running. So they're not in town very much. They trust us. They make us do everything in advance, but we're good at it. It's our fourth time, so we know kind of the ropes. Then obviously event ran July 22nd through August 2nd, and then as quickly as they came in, they're out of here on August 3rd, and as long as it took everything to go up, we're done to float out on August 6th. So luckily we got some rest and we're here today, but still some wrapping and everything to go. Keep going. And then kind of zooming out big picture, just kind of wanted to all see all the different areas that we touch. So we're up in Spring and Hurricane Harbor Splashdown, in Humbleford, George Turner Stadium, where track and field was held, for swimming, right here in Georgia Brown or next door, for a lot of our other additional sports, and then Physical High School out in Bel Air for field hockey. So just a big picture there. Now we're going to kind of dive into a couple of the venue specifics. To Georgia Brown, I mentioned we've got multiple different sports there. And then just like the first year, the breaking was introduced, and that I believe doubled, almost tripled the numbers of the dance participants for this year. And then out at George Turner Stadium, this is where a majority of our athletes are at for track and field. One of my favorite pictures is actually Cosmo with the starters there. I tried to get them to let them start a race, but that unfortunately did not happen. And then another key moment there is with the Tier Memorial Herman Hot Wheels team right there on the left side and top. They came out and do an exhibition race every year, or every event that we host. And it's to bring awareness to those kids with physical disabilities and to showcase them putting on their best participation in those track events, and for us to bring awareness to our ability to motion program as well. Then out of Physical High School, they bring in most elite athletes youth for field hockey. They pair them up on teams, and I think they get the award for best uniforms because they're the only ones with our logo on the uniforms. And I didn't see them until the event, and I was very happy with those. And then swimming, this was actually our first event to kick off. Something I want to highlight here is that top left photo. We had Fox 26 on site the first day of our events, and funny enough, the first event swam while they were setting up, and we were able to pull the first medalist from the Junior Olympic game, get her on their live shot, and pulled her right out of the pool, didn't even have time to go over and get her medal. So first event, first medalist was on the news, and her showcase right off the bat. And then celebration of athletes, think of this kind of as an opening ceremonies, even though it's held about halfway through the event. Oddly enough, as y'all saw on Georgia Brown, I talked about the turns. Some sports are finishing, some sports are just starting, track just started, so this gives kids an opportunity to attend, or most kids opportunity to attend. Other cities kind of do a lap around the track by their states, but we like to use to do a little bit different, showcase the city, and we brought all these kids up to Splashdown to let them enjoy the day, kind of have a water park, adventure, hang out with their friends, have a good time. We've got Ryan up there to speak, their president Joe Murray's up there to speak, which we'll be hearing from later. And then down in the left corner, we get a little piece out there to kind of showcase their support and what the future could look like for these athletes. And then to close out my section, kind of looking ahead, we do have this event on the books for 2027 as well as 2031. Obviously, we want this event to keep coming back. That's what we make those infrastructure upgrades, keep paid, happy, keep putting on a great show for them. But kind of taking a step back, that'll transition into more than over here. Going from 2021 to now, I mean, one of our biggest goals in 2021 was to grow the social media presence, to grow our footprint across the city, to grow the awareness of the event. This year, our marketing team did an outstanding job of getting the awareness. I'm sure every single one of you all saw the posts, saw the videos, saw the highlights. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Morgan to get some of her metrics and everything on her side.
Hello, everyone. I'm Morgan. I'm our social media and sports authority. And it's one of the biggest things I think from our media communication side of this event this year. We took a look at what had been done in 21. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to Greensboro and kind of for big after as well. So this was my first time actually going through and to the Olympics, but it's a sports authority. But it was great grabbing some of that insight from Greensboro and being able to apply some of those learnings into this year. But the biggest thing was kind of talking about the athlete experience. So we really wanted to make this event feel like they were coming into this big global sports destination that we really are. So one of those big things is kind of talking about some of those things that we did. So our billboards, I think we had a total of 7 billboards that were all around town, kind of on the different venues that we were at. In the shops, kind of right down the street here, we had so many people at the Georgia Brown Convention Center. We had a lot of different digital displays that were over there. So anytime people left, they could go around and walk downtown and find different displays that showcase some of those different opportunities. As well as the Gallery of Mall. Something that's also really unique is that we actually did a survey post-event this year to kind of find out where a lot of our participants visited, and the majority of them actually visited the Gallery of Mall. So having this here was huge. You kind of see in some of these photos that it's actually an athlete who was participating taking a photo there. So that's something that's really unique for that athlete experience, being able to go to the places that you're visiting while you're here and see that your event is here and making the ability of the event that you're participating in. A lot of the other things that we kind of did prior to the event and during the event, we wanted to kind of find different ways to tackle in the news side of things. So we got the Sports Business Journal ongoing with an article, and we were kind of, this was before the event, so we really wanted to start ranking out the individuals eyes on the event, knowing that it's coming, and finding ways to position it in different ways throughout your local media outlets. Same with the Business Journal. The one on the right-hand side of Houston is where it happens that actually ran during the event, so we wanted to find some ways that we could also not only hit prior to, but also during, just so we can keep that momentum going in the digital media side of things. As well as the Houston Chronicle, kind of see some of the different ones, not only digital, but we also have the print side of it. And then something new that we kind of incorporated this year, which was kind of fun, is that we actually had an SMS messaging that they could sign up prior during the event, and we could communicate to them different things that were going around in the community. So we got to partner with the Astros on the night for the Junior Olympics, as well as the Dynamo when they have the Olympics Cup. And so it was fun to be able to showcase those different things that were happening, but also being able to communicate to the participants, their families, that those were also happening. And this also came in very handy when we had a couple of different weather delays out at Turner Stadium. So we were able to give them direct messaging on when to leave the stadium as well as when to come back in. This is something I would love to incorporate in 27, but maybe try to send out that code prior to, just so we can get a little bit more signups on it. But I think it's a great way to communicate to the participants and find other ways to kind of even promote local businesses. Something a little bit different with the events or the AU Junior Olympics is that it is very youth driven, and our youth are very social media savvy. So different things that we did on the right-hand side, you can see a content creator station. So we had 3 of those different backdrops that were on the different venues. 2 of them were stationary at the George R. Brown and Turner Stadium, but one was a little bit more traveling. So because our events were a little overlapping, we were able to move from stadium to stadium just so that we were able to make sure that people at Episcopal could utilize it as well as some of the backstage. So that was fun. That was a lot of user content. They were able to tag us and share it with us, so whenever we saw that, we made sure we engaged with it. And so them knowing that the accounts that are absolutely funding the event and scale, that we're actually making them feel seen. As well as the Snapchat filter, this is something a little bit different that we want to incorporate. Again, because we feel a younger audience that we're trying to really make feel that this is this big event. We incorporated the Snapchat filter, so whenever they went on Snapchat, they were able to utilize this fun little filter that we were able to incorporate. And then some of the different on-site engagements, prior to the event, we actually went to some of the local qualifiers. We have this big ticket you can see on the upper right-hand side, it says 2025 ticket punch. Yes, thank you. That was an absolute hit. It was super fun to go out there. Any kids who qualified for the junior Olympic Games, they wanted to have a ticket with that, or a picture with that big ticket. So that was something that was super unique that we were able to do. We wanted to carry that over into the game as well. So we wanted to have a champion, and we also had a participant line because we want everyone to have that ability to take a photo with that. We also brought up Orphan to the GRP, so we were able to have him kind of engage and interact with kids, as well as the food display that we had at the Georgia Brown Convention Center.
Hi, I'm Rachel. I am our content coordinator. So I just want to talk a little bit about our media side. Blake already mentioned Fox News. That was the first meddling at Cyfair. So as you can see, we have on here our mentions. We have total news reach, and then some of the top publications. So you can see here that this is the one on the left is the top article by reach. It's kind of hard to see the number, but it's 15.5 million, which is amazing. And I also wrote down some of our top publications that mentioned us: Match.com, FlowTrack, Houston Public Media. All these publications mentioned us, posted an article about the AAU Junior Olympic Games. So for this, we wanted to spotlight Ryan and Juan for their interviews. We had a total of 15 interviews throughout the event. We can also share these interviews with everyone afterwards. And then Juan also went on Hello Houston, did an interview, and he's got amazing feedback on these as well.
And on code.
We also have a document that shows all of the articles that we can share with everyone afterwards. So you can actually go in, read the articles, watch the interviews, and see all the action on it.
Kind of dropped the gun on our social media performance, but this is something that I'm incredibly proud of. So going into this event, this is basically, these numbers are pulled from when the event was happening. So during the event, and I want to specify that this is on the Sports Authority social media channels. This is not AAU social media channels, this is ours. So we had over 2,000 people follow us on our social media platforms, over 10 million impressions, over 126,000 engagements, and over 1.8 million video views. I want to put this in comparison to our other events, just so you guys can really realize how amazing these numbers actually were compared to some of the different ones that we had. So you can see in the middle from 21, we had a huge show. And that's not to say that because it was 21, but also just our presence that we put in front of the community, and also the athletes who are engaging with our social media presence as well. And I wanted to also throw it into the College Bowl Playoff National Championship. Although the time frame is a little bit shorter, I think that the numbers that we got from the 2025 Junior Olympics don't stand a chance. It's just so amazing to see that our impressions grew that much in such like a amateur sporting event where you're able to really showcase these athletes and they're able to be put on the stage so they can really just see. So I think that these numbers just really showcase that, and you're able to really see how much that they actually were involved in the community and also digitally. Something that we tried to do is we split it up a little bit different. I talked about this earlier on how we had a little bit more of a social savvy audience for this, but we lean heavily on Facebook and Instagram just because that's the majority of where our audience is going to be coming from. So we got parents in need where they mostly traffic on their social media platforms. And so this is kind of where we moved it. We want to make sure that we take out this content not only for the student athletes, but also for the parents as well. And then we also want to share those behind the scenes and the highlights, and we want to really promote the user-generated content, kind of going back to those content creation stations that we provided. We want to really make sure that we're hitting home on those and we're sharing those and how we engage with that. But that's not to say that we didn't think out on LinkedIn and Twitter. We just knew that going into it that it maybe wasn't the main priority for our audience, but we still wanted to maintain that presence, but in a little bit of a different way. So we want to make sure that we're showcasing more educational content there and keeping it a little bit more professional over in
teaching the youth on those platforms. So we really want to highlight those milestones, insights, the recaps, the numbers, the different interviews that we were doing, but we wanted to really make sure that we were engaging those side of things, especially for our sponsors and stakeholders. These are kind of just a little bit of examples of our Instagram and Facebook content versus our LinkedIn. These are kind of the different.
You run it, John. That's why track and field is the only real sport. Everything else is just a game.
But going into LinkedIn and X, like I said, a little bit more professional, a little bit longer captions, a little bit more information. Just really wanted to highlight those different pieces of the games that maybe that we weren't portraying on the Instagram and Facebook side of things. Some of our top performing content, you can kind of see here on the lower hand side, the views for the first one, 81,000. Same with the one in the middle. They kind of are just really, like I said, on the Instagram side, they're loving it. They just kept coming back for all the content, and we got so much more feedback on our social media, which is great. So some of this, I know it's been hard for you, but I want to make a document with all the feedback that we got on the social media, just so you guys can really see all the different things that the community online was saying during this. And it was a lot of fun being able to see them coming with all this positive feedback and ways that we were able to engage with them on the digital side of things. But not only on the online presence that we had some good feedback, like Blake mentioned, we were already going to hear from President Burza next, his feedback.
My name is Joe Mirza. I'm President and CEO of the Amateur Athletic Union. I want to take a minute to thank everyone in Houston for the outstanding work and the great hospitality that was given to the AAU Junior Olympic Games. Houston has set a new standard for the Junior Olympic Games, and the amazing hospitality, the wonderful facilities, the great effort by the staff, and the great city itself and the people of Houston were just amazing and incredible. I want to take this opportunity to thank Ryan Walsh and Holly for the phenomenal effort that they put forward for us. The signage, just the hospitality that Houston gave us was absolutely incredible. I personally am looking forward to coming back to Houston as often as I can. Thank you kindly for everything that you've done for us.
Well done, guys. That's really awesome. Any questions, comments from board members?
I would just like to, again, say congratulations and thank you. And I know we have a lot of staff and volunteers back there. I'd like to ask you to please stand. This is extraordinary work. Please, all of you stand, take a bow. Thank you. I see a couple of you still sitting down. Don't die. Thank you all so much. What a tremendous lift. This is absolutely phenomenal. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of time, and that you were able to capture the absolute numbers and the impact you're having in the region, the economy. Thank you, and congratulations to all of you.
Go around the table. Any other? Chad?
Yeah, just a quick comment. I want to echo what Chris said, and hearing Holly really walk through the capital investment improvements we've made to that facility, which makes us competitive for this over and over, and probably leads into us being able to secure this in the future. Fantastic job. Quick question. I'm not sure who to ask, but have we run an economic impact yet for this, or is that kind of post? Are we still waiting on the numbers? There you
Is it
go.
on now?
Yep.
So the final numbers are not run at this point. I can tell you that it is a major financial and economic driver. We know that based on historical numbers of this event.
Yeah, I remember it
How
from the
much
last time.
larger this version has been since the one in just 2021. I can tell you we expect to have very impressive numbers, but we're not quite finished with that reconciliation process. But as you referenced, the capital projects we're able to do, the ripple effect into the neighborhoods and the community that we can have, but also the ripple effect into the leaders of tomorrow. I mean, the number of students who participate in this here from our community as interns, crews, staff, I mean, these are people who we see and know will be in our industry for years to come. Blake referenced, and I'm going to point him out, that this is his 4th AAU, but he started as a water boy on the first one he worked. So to be able to use this event as the growth for a lot of people who
Started
want
as
to
an
work in
athlete,
this
right?
industry, well, actually, way back in the day, he started as an athlete in this event. But it's a stepping stone, and it's a way for us to help educate and gain experience for people who want to work in our business and who want to be a part of the Sports Authority for years to come, whether you're a volunteer, an intern, or a future employee, hopefully. The ripple effects through this event and the ability to be able to show off the success that our community can use this event for to continue to bring future events to our market. This is a great, great product in our community, and one that we're really excited that will continue to come back based on the investments we've made.
Well, very good job. I think we need to do a great job of touting the total economic impact to Harris County and Houston once we get those numbers, because that's a huge justification for all of the great efforts that go on, and it's something we need to be proud of and kind of put out there in front of everybody.
Yeah, I also want to point out that we had discussed now since, for a while, the opportunity that we had with marketing and our social media. And so I appreciate and I want to thank for the effort of addressing those opportunities, because we see the fruit of what is happening here, of just highlighting what the Sports Authority can do on the Junior Olympics and with the events that are coming to town, the future events. We see of a sign of what's coming and what the Houston Sports Authority can do from a marketing standpoint to highlight the city, to highlight the event, to highlight the participants. So I wanted to thank specifically also the marketing team for taking on that challenge and just being able to see how this can be done, and the amount of followers and social media hits and mentions and all those graphics and that come along with that. So thank you for that. And I also I know Holly told us about Blake, how he started a few years ago on 3 of these, but he started just as was it an intern, his first one? He was a water boy, as she just mentioned, and now basically running the entire event, making it happen along with the assistance of a lot of people. That just shows you what the Sports Authority can do. And we had a lot of volunteers and a lot of interns out there helping along, and those are people that are going to be assisting for years to come with the Sports Authority, because we do pick the best out there that want to continue in the sports industry and helping us. So it's just a tremendous effort, and again, just a huge congratulations to the Sports Authority and all those that were involved.
Anyone else comments?
Please. This has gone on for a minute, but I think it's a worthwhile investment to dwell on this. I just wanted to extend the kudos, but from a mildly different perspective, just to the team, and Ryan, to you. This is excellent work. I think it's when we come to these meetings, we get to see the evidence of what the team is trying to do, the mindset that it has, and then the results that y'all are delivering. Complex execution planning, and then delivery across broad-based multi-venue footprint. That clearly demonstrated, due to the creativity and willingness to try something new, but think through it well, we don't get that expansion of reach and followers and social media impact if the execution doesn't go seamlessly. But y'all being willing to try something new, the Snapchat filters, other things, extend yourself, but think through it well enough to deliver the results that you spotlighted here. Each of those, obviously, that's a credential for any other event that we want to apply for, makes us more competitive in that market. But importantly, given the financial performance of events like this, generates positive return for the community, but also the authority. And as we build these capabilities, demonstrates to the real engines of our ability to host these global events, we can do more in partnership with the teams to attract worthwhile investment from event sponsors with these assets that we're bringing, that can be paired with the tremendous capabilities that our team partners have. Y'all are building through execution across all functions at the authority, a flywheel for us that I think we all hope to see and expand. We can't help but do things bigger and better as y'all execute in the way that we're seeing a summary of here today. So well done, as everybody else has said, but keep at it. This is exceptional.
Any other comments from board members? Awesome. With that, we'll move on to Finance Committee.
Yeah, Chad, I think the floor is yours.
I am not Tom, but I will go ahead. So I hope everybody had a chance to look at your packet. You'll find in tab 7 the financial report, kind of year-to-date numbers. I'm going to keep this really brief so we can move on, but if anybody has any questions, throw them out there and we can dive into them. So the July 31st year-to-date financials reflect that the revenue does exceed our budget by $890,085. This is primarily a result, if you're diving into the line items there, a result of event reimbursement from the state and a very strong performance in our investment income. If you are looking for kind of anomalies to query, July's HOT and MVR tax were down over expectations and down over 2024. As y'all know, HOT and MVR tax is driven by folks that come and visit and go to our events and things like that. So you have to really kind of dive into what was happening last year during the months that preceded the July collections to understand. And when you have concerts and things like that, it can fluctuate year to year. Our rental income is also down that you'll notice, but this is strictly just a timing issue, and those funds will flow. We know what those numbers are going to be, so not really concerned about that. So overall, as mentioned, $890,000 ahead of budget year to date. Also worth noting, total expenditures are within the budget area amounts, and probably as important as anything, our debt service obligations are fully covered for the fiscal year 2025 as of the end of July 31st. So we're good to go. Money that we continue to collect moving forward obviously grants us opportunity in the future to extend new money to our stadiums. So we're in good financial shape. We're going to keep an eye on that HOT and MVR tax. I always kind of like to track that to make sure that people are still traveling and staying in our hotels. So other than that, any questions?
Why is the professional fees so much?
That was another thing that I saw. I immediately wrote back, and I'm going to flip this to the bosses to my left, but I think my initial reaction to that was probably because of some of the transition and some of the audits and things that we have had looked at, but I will flip that.
No, you're exactly right. That the professional fees included the internal compliance review as well as the Miller Grossbart advisors on the finance side. So those two increased our professional fees for this fiscal year.
Is that going to continue, or?
No, those are one-time
kind of a
expenses.
one-time, really to take that inner look at everything during a transition when we have new leadership coming in. So I think that's generally what that was for.
Correct.
You may recall, it's been probably early on in the year, one of the first ones, we approved the budget expense for incurring those. Remember, for the accounting or the internal review was a maximum of $250,000, which we approved, and then on the accounting side, it was a maximum of $50,000. So those kind of line items are currently hitting, and that's the additions there.
Okay, thank you.
Good deal, though. Any other questions? All right. We need a motion to.
Yes.
Yep. Just looking for a motion to approve the financial report.
You want to make the motion? I'll second it.
I will make that motion.
Second.
So we have a motion to approve the July 31st, 2025 accounting report, and we have a second. Any further discussion? Question? Hearing none. All those in approval?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then it passes. Thank you. So moving forward, I think it's still.
Yeah, so item 8, discussion, review, and approval of the fiscal year 2025 annual audit report. We are Still, we have the draft audit report. I think everybody's had a chance to review that. We are still expecting the final audit report shortly, probably over the next couple of weeks. As we stand right now, there are no changes from that draft to the final, so we expect it to be the same, but we will not approve that until we get the final. So we're just kind of in a holding pattern right now until we get the final. So I think that's where we're at.
So assuming that we're not going to take any action on item number 8 at this point until we get the final report that we can all look at, review, and sign off on.
Correct. No vote necessary.
So moving to items 9, and I think, are we combining 9 and 10?
Yes, sir. We're going to take 9 and 10 together just out of convenience, but we are moving the AAU event contract and certain funds related to that event to the Sports Authority Foundation as part of the efficiencies that we're putting into place and the ongoing cleanup efforts to modernize both the authority and the foundation. It's an administrative function that is consistent with the mission and function of the foundation as it supports the authority.
All right, so this was circulated regarding that, the movement of the, as Ryan described. Any further questions regarding that issue?
Not a question, Mr. Chairman, just a quick comment. Just that appreciate the thoughtfulness put in. It's admittedly a bit of hygiene, but it's in discipline, but it's important. And appreciate the foundation board's willingness to take on adjustments to some of the things that can be done to apply the discipline that we've been applying here at the authority over low-hanging fruit items on the foundation side. So. Administrative item, but important nonetheless. Thanks very much.
Thank you. So with that, I'll ask for a motion to approve items 9 and 10 on the agenda.
So moved.
There's a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in approval say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passes. Thank you. Moving to section number or item number 11 on our agenda. Ryan?
Yes, sir. I'd like to request an executive session with the board to discuss this item with legal counsel, please.
All right, so we'll hold that off on that. We moving to item number 12?
Yes, sir. As you know, Dyken Park gets its chilled water from the central distribution plant here downtown that services several other buildings in the area. Centrio is asking to have Houston Industries released from its existing chilled water guarantee and replaced with a company called Centrio. It's just essentially the next iteration of who owns the plant. The new guarantee guarantees all obligations under the chilled water agreement that we signed in 1999. So that it's really more of a perfunctory sort of an administrative thing. And we have had conversations with the Astros, and they also approved the replacement of the guarantee.
All right, so with that, I'll ask for a motion and a second to approve the Central Guarantee transfer. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you. I think that's our agenda items there, but we'll move to executive session. So with that, the Board of Directors may go into executive session if necessary pursuant to Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code for one or more of the following reasons. 1, consultation with the board's attorneys to seek or receive legal advice or consultation regarding pending or contemplated litigation. The Board of Directors may announce that it will go into executive session on any item listed on the agenda if the subject matter is permitted for a closed session by provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. With that, we will start the executive session now at 11:15 a.m. Thank you. We'll be back. We are reconvening from executive session back into open session. And so with that, addressing item number 11 that was discussed during executive session, I ask for a motion and a second to void the sublease agreement between Harris County Houston Sports Authority and GVP Media, Inc.
Move.
So there is a motion, we have a second? There is a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you. With that, I think I'll open it up to any comments for any other directors on any other subject. All right, hearing no comments, I want to thank everybody for their attendance. I'll ask for the next board meeting is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. Obviously, we'll send an agenda and any further updates before that meeting. So with that, I'll ask for a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting. Move and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And no opposed, so the motion passes. All right, thank you. The meeting is over 11:38. Thank you, everyone.